Hello. Beep, 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 beep. Welcome back once again to the court of the Edijester. Matey! How are we doing, peeps? What an extraordinary few days. You will, like me, have been viewing, watching, enjoying, and wondering what the bloody hell's going on with NHS Fife. I mean, could it be any more tick box bloody crazy than what we've seen? Lunatic women who can't tell the difference between male and female. Statements that are rewritten 4 times and that are just nonsense and attack sex matters, for example, and various other things. I've never seen the like. Honestly, I haven't. It just leaves me gobsmacked. Now, I've done a couple of articles, which you can see on my Twitter. So become a warrior teacher, buy me a coffee. If you want me to keep going, please do buy me a coffee, subscribe to my Substack, or subscribe to my Twitter. Anything you can do to help be gratefully received. But yeah, we've still got more news on the Sandie Peggie front. There is no getting away from it. This woman is a hero. She's not just a hero, she is a warrior who has found her dragon, and she has every intention of slaying it. This is extraordinary news that broke. She's going to sue the RCN, the Royal College of Nursing, which is essentially a union. As you can see here, the nurse at the centre of an employment tribunal over a trans doctor's over a man's use of a female changing room is now suing her trade union, claiming it failed to support her because of her gender critical beliefs. This will be a vital case that I've no doubt will be fought very heavily by the union. But it could mean if this is a successful case and we get a kind of precedent going, that Unison can find itself in the dock then, and the rest of these useless collectivist organisations, which frankly belong back in the 20th century. They're relics at this point. So, Sandie Peggie, fully paid up member, says the union effectively abandoned her when she first approached them for help and advice after being suspended by NHS Fife in 2024. A preliminary hearing in her action against the RCN will begin in September. Well, we've already been spoilt by Peggie, haven't we, this month, with all the nonsense that we're getting from them and the great reporting from various people. Wings is there, tribunal tweets doing their thing. So some really good stuff coming out so we can see exactly what's happening almost immediately as it happens, including descriptions about the faces of the people involved, because they're all sitting there thinking, this is some Kafkaesque nightmare. How have I got involved in it? It's just insane. But it gets even more insane for me when you look and see what NHS Fife are up to on the DEI front generally. Because this is about EDI and DEI, right? Trans is just one part of it. Trans is the battle. The war is EDI, DEI. And I think people are waking up to that. Pick a side. Miss Peggie, who was suspended after raising objections to her colleague, Dr. Beth Upton, who pretends to be a female, using female facilities. I love that. Miss Peggie was suspended. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind, if it wasn't for the strictures of the modern world, that the people we've seen in that tribunal would have quite literally suspended her if they'd been given the chance, by the feet above hot coals or something like that. You know, it's just a witch hunt. It's a ducking stool. It's utterly insane. If she looks like a duck, and if she weighs the same as a duck, therefore she's a witch. That's Monty Python, isn't it? In response to this gusset fumbler, Beth Upton, she complained to hospital management. I've taken to calling him the hunch front of NHS Fife. I hate these people. I do. Stupid people. In response, she complained to hospital management. He complained to hospital management, alleging patient care failings and misgendering by the A&E nurse. There was no evidence of that. She was placed on special leave and formally suspended. What this woman's been through. Shortly afterwards, she contacted her RCN representative to seek advice. Earlier this week, following an internal investigation, NHS Fife cleared Miss Peggie of the charges, saying there was insufficient evidence to support a finding of misconduct. Is that because the gusset fumbler lied? Do we think? I mean, I don't know, but do we think? The decision was announced by her lawyer just hours before the resumption of the employment tribunal in Dundee after a 5-month break. Miss Peggie claims her treatment by her employers was unlawful under the 2010 Equality Act and has brought a case against both the Health Board and Dr. Upton. It has since emerged that NHS Fife's defence of their action has cost the public purse more than £220,000. My God. The Herald understands Miss Peggie, who worked in A&E at Kirkcaldy's Victoria Hospital, claims her union turned its back on her because it had adopted gender identity beliefs as its institutional belief. What a surprise, a leftist organisation adopting EDI-DEI. And was therefore unwilling or unable to recognise that she was or might be entitled to insist on the maintenance of the female changing room as a single-sex space. She also claims the union failed to acknowledge her belief that she was experiencing discrimination and harassment from NHS Fife and Dr. Upton. They don't like it, Upton. Miss Peggie's lawyer, Margaret Gribben of McGrade Employment Sisters in Glasgow, said last night the RCN's failure to act like a trade union has contributed to Sandie Peggie's mistreatment. They have repeatedly failed to exercise their industrial muscle to advocate for female members distressed because they are being deprived of genuine single-sex spaces to dress and undress at work. Had the RCN fulfilled the convention role of a trade union, it is less likely that Sandie would have faced the ordeal of an 18-month disciplinary process and having to raise legal proceedings against Fife Health Board, or as I like to call it, Arkham Asylum. The RCN's 2021 guide on the case, advice, support and representation from the RCN states, it is your right to receive our support, guidance or representation regardless of your ethnic or national origins, religion or belief, sex or sexual orientation, gender reassignment, disability, marital state, essentially the stuff that's in the Equality Act, or any complaint you may have previously made about the RCN itself. If, after careful consideration, we find that we are unable to provide advice or representation, we will give you a clear and detailed explanation as to why we have taken this decision. Miss Peggie and her lawyers argue that she has not been given any clear and detailed decision about the union's refusal to back her. Were Miss Peggie to succeed in her case against the RCN, the trade union movement could face further claims from women alleging workplace mistreatment for defending single-sex spaces. Well, Sandie, just you absolute bloody hero. All I can say is that I hope that this is incredibly successful and that in being so, it opens the floodgates so that the likes of Unison and their other fetid comrades can be brought to justice, which is what is needed here. Justice. To bring them to justice, because this is, I hate collectivism of any kind, right? But I like collaboration. And you can see it in what's happening with this, right? If you're a part of a collective, like the EDI-DEI cult, if you're part of it, then every win is a win for the collective. If you're part of a collaboration, which we all are, then every win is for each one of us. That's why I hate collectivism. Well, it's one reason why I hate collectivism. There's at least a dozen more, if not more than that. The article is available for you. I put links down in the doobries, as I normally do. Please do support me if you can. It's the only way I keep going. Otherwise, you go and have a fantastic day. It's just, we are winning somewhat, aren't we? I'll see you later. Bye-bye.